Hi, good to see you all here. Thank you for coming. So I'm Matthew Broome. I'm Professor of Psychiatry and Youth Mental Health at the University of Birmingham. And together with Lisa Bortolotti, Rose McCabe, Michael Larkin, and our postdoctoral research fellow, I lead the work around psychosis in young people as part of the EPIC project. So there are three areas I'm really excited to look at during the course of the award, both from a kind of conceptual and an empirical approach. The first is what I broadly think of as intersectionality. So I work in East Birmingham with a population of young people in the early psychosis services. So I guess it's worth bearing in mind, as well as their psychosis they bring to us, they also have other disadvantages in life that can also hinder that justice in healthcare. So for example, from a deprived background, with socioeconomic privation, they could be children of migrants, have poor English, have additional comorbidities, whether mental or physical health issues, but also issues around criminal justice, drug misuse, etc., etc. So very complex young people we work with. So to think about how those demographic variables interact with psychosis in terms of epistemic justice, that's a key thing I'm really keen for us to look at. More disciplinary specific, I think there's an inherent tension for us when we think about mental health practice and epistemic justice. A lot of what we do as clinicians is think about experience and try to demarcate things. We might call some mood abnormal, give it a label to it, such as mania or depression. We might call a perception hallucinatory, a belief delusional. So already there's a tension there between the value of epistemic justice and what we do in practice, where we maybe talk about some beliefs or experiences being not able to track reality or being untrue, and that in turn disallowing their kind of truth content. So a real kind of challenge for me is how we can think about these notions from philosophy and how they can relate to our practical world in mental health practice. Because very importantly, there is still the goal. We have to make diagnoses, offer formulations, and provide care and treatment that helps people and relieves distress. So there's an element of trying to square that circle and both do the important clinical work, but also allowing justice to enter those clinical consultations. I think that's a really interesting tension to work on the next several years. And the final bit is a link to more wider research, is around phenomenology and psychiatry. So these two disciplines have had a long historical relationships over 100 years since the philosopher-psychiatrist Karl Jaspers began applying ideas from philosophy to mental health practice. And some of the things we think about in phenomenology, first-person experience, structures of experience, but also things around trying to bracket off causal stories, trying to be open to multiple meanings, have a lot of links with the kind of intellectual virtues that might be one way to try and improve epistemic injustice in healthcare. So again, some hope there that two disparate lines of intellectual inquiry that have touched on healthcare can be brought into closer resonance and might learn from one another. So exciting time ahead. Thank you.